Hey folks, this is Coleman Alderson for GardensAll.com. I am here in our home. In fact, I'm here in our laundry room. It's also a mud room, it's also a storage room. And just wanted to go over how it is that it is so easy to grow microgreens indoors, even in a tight little space like what we have here. We started out surveying all the information that's out there and discovered there's a lot of information out there, and at some point you just have to decide this is the way we're going to do it. So we decided we'd start small. They say that a little knowledge is dangerous, and we didn't want to get in the danger zone, so we're starting small. We ordered smaller packets. You can order huge amounts of these types of things, and we're starting with just one tray, and we're using this really unique material. It's hemp mats. We did an article about hemp, and we surely appreciate all the qualities hemp has to offer in all the myriad products for medical, for growing, for all kinds of things that hemp can be used for. Now these guys, one of them will fit in a 5x5 little tray, and you can seed it and then put your seeds on top of that, grow them up, and you have a nice neat little tray. 8 of them will fit in a typical sized seedling tray like we have here. Now what I've done is I've put 8 of them in there and I've soaked it. I put in a lot of water, and right here at the bottom there is a gap. It'll show over here. There's water here, so this is really soaked, and at some point you don't want it overly soaked, but starting these things out, you want these things really, really wet. And what I'm using today is a spicy mix. We found these, there was assortment, there was spicy, there was non-spicy, and there was some broccoli and some radish and some peas, and we found these in these little packets. Now I've just discovered that reading about this, on a large tray like this, you need about 75 milliliters, and that's in liquid measurement of seeds to cover a whole tray. Well, we came up a little bit short, but we're going to proceed anyway. So do you have any, my wife is with me here and she's really good about asking questions. Do you have any questions so far?
Hi, my name is Leora. No, I think this is good.
Okay,
Yeah.
All right. Well, what we're going to do...
Well, actually, sorry, I do.
Okay.
That's a mix. So basically that means different kinds of greens, and do they, but I guess they kind of sprout around the same pace?
Yes, and the other packet is a non-spicy, and it had mostly broccolis and other things mixed in there that were larger seeded. So I'm trying to match the general size of these seeds, radishes and other things. It's radishes, mustards, cress, cabbage, and these things will germinate about the same time. So I'm trying to keep everything consistent here, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so we're just going to begin like salting. Now there's a lot of information about how much to put down and how you try to keep them separated, the seeds that is. And the general rule is you want to have these seeds no closer than a seed apart. Now that's pretty hard to do in this instance. I don't know of any other great method. You got to try to get some in the corners and along the side, and try to time it so you're not going to run out of seeds.
And you want to avoid the gap.
You want to avoid the gap if you can.
I guess you could always cut a thin strip.
Yeah, and I see some of these guys are tending to congregate. Let me get over here with this. Tending to congregate in the little depressions here between the pads. That's an observation that may be worthy of figuring out how not to have that happen. But so this is our first seeding in of microgreens. Now why do we like microgreens? Well, they're easy to grow, they have amazing taste, and the nutrition is quite quite astounding because some of these things, like the arugula, can have up to 40 times the amount of nutrition that the mature plant, the mature arugula, offers. And that's just one example. There are lesser dramatic examples, but they definitely taste more powerful. They carry the same flavor as the mature plant. And now it's obvious they've done studies that there's a lot more nutrition in these little guys. Plus, it's something we can do in the wintertime. We're already set up with growing seedlings, and that's how we got started. In fact, we were thinning these out, and I clipped off a few. You have cabbage and actually bok choy and kale growing here, and some mizuna. And we thinned these out, and as we were nibbling on the ones that were thinned out, wow, what flavor! Everybody had a great experience with these.
Sorry.
Actually, so that's what led us to enjoying the prospect of growing them in mass like this.
And this is in the indoor greenhouse, which we will link to the article about that as well.
One thing we're going to do here, folks, you see the seeds are on the top, and what I'm going to do is take this sprayer and not covering it with any dirt. I'm just going to spray, make sure the seeds are kind of stuck into the mat here. And I can see where I clumped it up a little bit. You know, that's kind of unavoidable to an extent.
And it's pretty forgiving. They'll be okay. They'll be okay with that.
But there are thousands of seeds in here, and we're going to let them grow. I'm using this sprayer. It's just plain water. It's warm. And then, like I say, these are sitting on the top. We're not going to cover them over, but they like to be covered, right? But rather than use dirt or something else, we're going to use this. I fabricated this. This is just a dome cover for a typical seedling tray. I reversed it. I put a piece of cardboard down on it, and we're just going to cover it over like that. And that will keep it nice and dark for several days. We'll be able to examine how things are going by just looking down in there like that. My own invention. I'm looking.
Okay, so the seeds like to be in dark, and once they sprout, are you going to remove this so it doesn't keep them?
Of course, yes.
And is it pressing on them right now, or is there a
No,
gap?
it's a little bit above them right now. And it'd be okay if it were pressing, but now, here's this. We already have this warm heating mat right here. And I had this light on just to illustrate so you could see the mat. I'll be turning the light off once we get this in here. We'll just feed it in here like that. All right, let's set it up. Yeah, I want to flip.
And do the heating mats come at different temperatures, or they're pretty much the same?
You can. There are some that are controllable. Okay, just switched off, making sure everything's set. Now we need to make sure these mats, these mats have a tendency to dry out, so I will be checking them daily. And this is a special kind. You can get these in larger quantities. Again, we're sticking with going small scale at first, so we learn as we grow. But these in particular have a sort of a paper backing, so they're a little bit easier to handle if you need to lift the whole thing out of a smaller container, let's say. But it's pretty amazing. So we'll stick with this for now. We will keep everybody posted on how things are progressing. We definitely look forward to the results, and we invite any of you all out there to contribute, send us comments, pictures, ideas, tips, anything that you have related to the experience of growing microgreens yourselves. So we invite that, definitely. This is Coleman Alderson for GardensAll.com. Let's keep growing. So long.